That, ladies and gentlemen, is why you watch every game all the way to the end. 9 out of 10 times, it doesn't happen, but that 1 out of 10 absolutely makes it worth it. Avs win over the San Jose Sharks 5-4 in overtime.
Oh my goodness gracious! Wasn't in time! Score! Justice is served!
This was a relatively even game. The Avs were great at times, and the Avs were awful at times, and the same can be said of the San Jose Sharks. So, while neither team played an A game, it still ended up fairly even when all was said and done. At least we'll put it that way. The Avs, in a lot of points of this game, were their own worst enemy, with turnovers causing massive issues for them all night long. It takes just 3 minutes into the game for the first one to burn them. The Sharks lose possession of a puck as they gain the zone here, and it comes onto Nichushkin's stick. He's in complete control of the puck with space and time at the moment. He could skate it out himself if he wants. He could try for the stretch pass up the middle. He could find a way to get it back to his defenseman cleanly, but he botches it. As he looks towards his defenseman on the other side of the ice, he telegraphs his paths badly, and then just kind of slowly taps it to him. Not a good firm pass. This gets read, this gets intercepted, and now you have a massive problem, as there is no one coming with on this play. It ends up being a puck in deep for the Sharks, and it gets worse from there, as the initial defense is okay. They stop the pass from coming out directly out front, but it does eventually bounce out there, and Nichushkin gets another chance to whack at this puck. He could whack this puck anywhere that isn't directly to Kane. Anywhere outside of that red line is a safe play. They're out of here. Instead, he whacks it directly to Kane's stick, who then scores. And you can see the turnovers come from some interesting decision-making, we'll put it that way. I think a lot of it came down to that. The Avs making poor to weird to bad decisions all over the game, especially when they trailed later on, which makes some sense. It's not a situation they're super comfortable with as a hockey team, so hopefully this helped them work out some of the kinks, because you can bet they're going to trail some games in the playoffs. Despite the weird decision-making, despite the bad turnovers, this is still an extremely talented team, and it takes them just a few minutes to get the game back to tied in the first period. The Sharks really hate defensive zone faceoffs. Landy is going to win this one back to McKinnon, who fires a shot on quickly. The rebound comes off of Jones. Rantanen, the one to win the race to the puck. And yes, that's on his backhand side. Never had a chance, Jones. Mikko on the backhand. What do you even do? You just kind of accept that you're about to get beaten. The first period on the whole was pretty solid for the Avs. Not amazing, but gonna get the job done outside of a few major mistakes. It ends up being 1-1 after 1, maybe the only knock being the Avs power play struggled in this one. 0 for 3, not gonna make too much of a fuss about it, but it could be better. And then you have the second period, which is a complete and total disaster for the Avs. A period they normally completely dominate, they just fall flat on their face. They get outshot 13-2 by the Sharks in the period, and they are their own worst enemy for much of it. The first goal, just an absolute turnover, mess, nonsense, awfulness. Sharks are going to try to dump this in, but Patrick Nemeth catches it, knocks it down, and is in a great spot. He has a ton of time, no pressure at all. You have one guy coming from the bench that will challenge him eventually, but there's no need to rush this play at all. And as you can see, all three of the Avs forwards get set up, take their time, and get ready to do a breakout. That's the wrong direction for Jost, but there is no rush on anyone but Patrick Nemeth on this play. And Nemeth is going to try and pass this puck to Andrei Burakovsky. He could have done it now, and it would have been fine. He could have waited a little bit longer, and it would have been fine. He also could have put this puck pretty much anywhere else on the ice compared to where he did, and it would have been fine. But he doesn't see Tyson Jost. He doesn't expect Tyson Jost to circle, and he fires this puck right into his skates. Jost, who barely sees the puck in time, panics and tries to get out of the way, but it's too late. This puck is going off of his skate instead of to Berkey, and the play is out of control. From there, things just get worse. That's bad enough. The play should have never happened in the first place, but you're going to get the full commit. Grubauer commits completely to the shooter, expecting his defense to cut off anything that comes to this glove side. Instead, Nemeth YOLO commits to Tomas Hertl and gets walked, as Grubauer is committed to the shot. Now there's nothing covering the opposite side of the net, and it's a pretty easy goal from Hertl from there because Grubauer does not react well. Top to bottom, that play is a mess. You can blame everyone, but it starts with the gruesome turnover. And the problem is, we've seen this happen to the Avs in the second period, but they just never picked up steam. They never found their game in the second period. They kind of just turtled up and tried to survive the Sharks. When they make another gruesome turnover, they have more defensive errors, and it's 3-1 very quickly. Landy with the puck up high in the zone walks himself into trouble and fires a puck right into the body that's closing down on him. That's not great. This is a dangerous turnover, but with possession still up into the air, Kane maybe cherry picks a little bit, but he gets out ahead of Makar and creates a breakaway as the Sharks do end up with the puck. Makar dang near tracks him down, but doesn't quite get there in time, and Grubauer is going to just get beat on a move here. Grubauer, again, committed heavily to the initial shot. If he is a little bit more patient, and yes, I understand it's a breakaway, playing goaltender is extremely hard, but all he has to do to stop this play is seal the post as Kane moves across. Instead, Grubauer's caught out, can't stretch across, and gets beat. So far, it's not the Avs' night defensively or in goal. That much is pretty clear. But they do manage to squeak by and not give up another goal in the second period that very likely would have pretty much ended the game. Grubauer did come up with a couple of decent saves to try and get himself back into the game. We're not going to say he did that, but he didn't completely fall apart either. The third period, the Avs gave themselves a chance early. They score quick coming out of the break. As we're going to cross the zone and eventually down to the near circle for Burakovsky. And Burakovsky just kind of recognizes he has space and goes for it, cutting to the middle, gets around a guy. You get a massive pick from Tyson Jost there, to be clear. Let's look at that one more time, because this is not legal. Tyson Jost just walks into a guy, knocks him over. That's not allowed. That should not be allowed, but it allows Burakovsky to walk in, get to about the top of the hash marks, and fire a shot. This is Andrei Burakovsky. You know it's going to be a great shot, but it rings off the crossbar, does not go in initially. Thankfully, Jones can't find it. It drops right out in front of Val Nichushkin, and Burakovsky is going to hit Nichushkin's stick into the puck and into the net. Yes, I am also counting that as bad post number 60, by the way, but the goal still ends up in the net for Val Nichushkin / Andrei Burakovsky. It's a one-goal game. Just like that, the Avs feel like they're back in it. There was still hope. And then I'll be honest, the next goal took away my hope for the Avs having any chance of winning this game. An absolute mess of a play from the forwards here. Landy, full sends on the forecheck. That's kind of fine. You don't expect a whole lot out of your leading guy there. Problem is, Rantanen also full sends, and he gets caught out, gets beat badly. Suddenly, there's 4 Sharks up the ice, 5, honestly, to 3 Avs back, and it gets made significantly worse because McKinnon gets caught coasting through the middle. He doesn't take another stride for the rest of this play, I'm pretty sure. And that's a 4-on-2 coming back. Need to see a little bit more from McKinnon getting back there to help negate this play. Instead, 4-on-2, they leave a ton of space for the puck to walk in. They get screened in front. Nothing Grubauer can do about this one. Just gets beat clean. I mean, you just can't let that play to get to that point in the first place. Down 4-2, we've seen this story before. In fact, we've seen the Avs trailing into the third before. They were 0-for-8 coming into tonight. Had not even taken a single game to overtime when trailing at the start of the third, so expectations were extremely low. Good thing expectations don't matter, results do. The captain does what he has to do to get the Avs back in the game. It's another offensive zone faceoff for the Avs, but they do lose this one, at least initially. After a bit of a battle, the Sharks come away with it. They just can't clear it because it's a bad play by the Sharks. They don't get anything on it. McKinnon gets a stick on it. All of a sudden, Landy's walking in from the top of the circle. He has enough space to load up and fire, and he just beats Jones clean. That's a short side even. That's pretty crazy. At the end of the day, I do not think Grubauer played very well in this hockey game, but he played better than the guy in goal on the other end of the ice. And that's good enough. The other big story here, with time winding down in the third period, not quite into goalie pull territory, but The man who has been colder than the ice that he plays on, finally, it's been 17 games, he gets a goal. Burns going to do his best Patrick Nemeth impression here, as he has control of the puck, he has time, he could circle back, he could go reverse it to a teammate, he could throw this harder up the boards and get it out of the zone. But he weakly plays it off the boards, and it doesn't clear because Nazem Kadri jumps on it and keeps the play alive. Kadri then kind of fumbles the puck, but still gets it past Burns and is able to come in from a very tough angle here. Burns can't really do much. He tries a whack on him, but it doesn't prevent anything. And Kadri goes upstairs, bounces it off of Jones' helmet and into the net. The Sharks fell apart as much as Kadri made that play, but boy, was he due. I don't know what it is about Nas, but he always seems to come through in a clutch time. And I want to emphasize this game, standalone, not that important. Beating the Sharks or losing to the Sharks didn't really matter. But to get 1 point, or potentially even 2 out of this game, brings the Avs closer to Vegas. At that point, Vegas had lost their game in regulation to Minnesota, meaning any point the Avs get is clawing back space towards the top of the Western Division and home ice in the playoffs. That tying goal got them to their 1 point. They get into overtime, and this overtime was beautiful by the Avs. We have not seen them do this in 3-on-3, maybe ever, honestly. They played slow, they played quality possession hockey, they waited for their good opportunity, and they finished it. Check it out. Instead of the Avs taking a dumb shot, it's them circling back out into the neutral zone like pretty much every other team in the league has learned at this point. They get their clean and easy change as Makar feeds off the puck to Burakovsky, and then Burakovsky just walks right up the middle of the ice. The Sharks get spooked, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Burns just takes off back towards his own net and gives Burakovsky all the room in the world to walk into the top of the circle. So Berkey says, I'm a pretty good shooter. You're going to let me get that close. I'm going to shoot it. And he's able to just barely beat Martin Jones as it trickles in. A comeback doesn't happen without one team blowing it and one team taking advantage. It takes both sides for something like that to happen. So, yes, the Sharks did blow it, but credit to the Avalanche for getting the job done as well. They continue to move in the right direction. They are sitting just 2 points behind Vegas for the top of the division. They have a game in hand. They have a head-to-head game against Vegas left. The Avs are in control of their own destiny, and that's all you can ask. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head over to the DNVR, check it out. Consider signing up for a membership if you really like what you see. I am Rudo, and comebacks are kind of fun. The Avs should try it more.
Avalanche time, come on.